initially there was a case where a woman really wanted to go on a solo trip, went and nearly had a panic attack there, saying, oh my God, this is something that I don't know why I did this, I wasn't sure. And not because anything was going wrong. Everything was fine from a company perspective and what we were giving her. But I think she was just suddenly very uncomfortable, to be by herself. So, but we had a solution in mind, and this is something that we had thought of initially. And, we were able to fix it quickly until the pandemic, in all honesty, right? And when the pandemic hit, we were 2.5 years into the business, and we were doing well, and we were poised to raise. We were, getting recognized in every forum. I think 1 week before the pandemic, I had flown to Bombay to just pick an award and come back. So we were really in a different trajectory. So because in that 1 week of that doubt and that frustration, we came up with this solution. And I think that's the true spirit of entrepreneurship.
Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing very well. I am Harshita, and I am back with another episode in the Startup Talks with Harshita. And today we have Garima with us. Hi, Garima. How are you doing?
Hi, Harshita. Very well. And thank you for inviting me here. You're doing a great job. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, Garima. So Garima runs WanderingJane, which is an exciting concept about giving a platform to women and girls to travel alone, or maybe with a girls trip or something. So I am very excited to know more about it. So let's get started. Garima, please introduce yourself to our audience.
So, WanderingJane, I'm glad that you said what you said, Harshita, but just further to that, WanderingJane is an activity-based travel platform for women where we curate trips that are created and executed by local experts. So these local experts are based in the destination. So these are not agents or people who are, searching stuff on the search engine and giving and sharing what to do. These are people, real people, localites who are based in different destinations who can curate a trip as per your interests. So if you are someone who loves culture, you would see more of that on your trip. If you're someone who loves history, your trip would be curated in that way. Or of course, if you are someone who's an outdoor adventure junkie, so we have surfers, we have trekkers, we have scuba divers who are a part of our local expert network who create and execute these trips for girls.
Amazing, right? So I would love to know that how you got this idea of starting this, and before this, what were you actually doing, and how you thought I should execute that? Because I think on an idea level, there are a lot of ideas coming here and there, but execution is the key. So I would love to know that how your way was there from ideation to execution.
Yeah, what a fabulous question. And you're right. I think ideas keep coming in. So I'm a co-founder. I've co-founded this with my first cousin, in fact, Akshat. Both of us came from a corporate background. I came with some 9 years of experience when we started WanderingJane about 5 years ago. He came with about 14 years of experience. He was the North and West CEO for Bata before he came in here. I came from a banking and a Fintech background. He came from retail. So none of us really came from the industry. I think the idea was very simple. We exchanged notes. We traveled very differently. All our travel was about what did you do there? What did you learn? What new kind of skill did you pick up? We always came back with a new hobby after a holiday. We would go and suddenly I want to be a painter, or I'm into music, or, I'm learning a new instrument, or I want to do a surfing course or a scuba certification, or suddenly have bought a cycle and now, cycling is the new mojo. So every time, we came back with a new hobby and we kept exchanging notes, and we realized that there is something interesting that we're doing in our travel. There was another observation that we made, that solo women from India don't travel as much. As much as I met women from other geographies when I was traveling, whether on a hike or on a dive or on a small village walk, you would meet solo women travelers from across the world. Europeans and Americans coming in India and traveling solo, but very few female Indian travelers, who would go solo. So that was one kind of gap that we felt, that this is a gap in the market. Do women want to solo? Yes. They do want to travel solo, but what is really stopping them? So we started kind of solutioning around there, and we said that, of course, there are concerns, there are issues, but if we can manage that and we can mitigate that risk, and we can kind of add a layer of safety and make it slightly easier for women, that will be great. The other thing is that, the local experts who actually deliver that experience to you, be it, a historian talking to you about the history of the place, be it a local guide, who's taking you around, or someone who's a food expert or a surfer or a diver, the end person who's really delivering that experience to you, one does not make enough money and lacks clarity in the system, because someone has gone via to kind of reach there. So we wanted to do a solutioning around them, and we wanted to build something which will empower them in the long run.
Right. Amazing.
So I mean, I kind of went on the idea a little bit, and you asked me idea to start up, right? So I think we just exchanged a lot of notes. There were a lot of observations. We kept kind of writing down everything that we thought is a gap and what can we do. Then like any other process, and both of us came from, an industry background, right? Like in banking, I've done multiple roles, from sales to marketing and branding, and I moved to an IT company to head corporate marketing there. So numbers, information was something that was a part of our system, right? So I think we kind of gathered that, understood what should we do in the typical startup world known as the minimal viable product. There are so many problems to solve. What's the most critical problem? How should we solve it? Who is our customer? How should we reach our customer? And, we just experimented, and it worked. It worked because I think we spend a little bit of time in understanding our customers. I used to be working in Kerala at that point, and I remember going, to the beach and random that you. So like any marketer would tell you that, you must survey and you must do research. So we did spend time understanding the market. We did spend time understanding if the local experts, what do they really need? What would make them, serve the customers really well, so that every single customer comes back with a good experience. So we did a bit of research, and, we drafted what we should go ahead with in a very, very simplified way. And as started a product. We didn't even have a website at that time. We started only with social media to experiment whether this whole idea will click with the market or not. It did. So we invested on a website. We got decent validation. So we invested some more money and made a platform out of it.
Amazing. I think this is a very good, this is a bridging gap between the women who actually want to travel and the local experts who are looking for customers, who are looking for people to get them travel and just curate an experience for them. And I think this is a very, very valid problem, because I am in my college, I was in my college days when there used to be a solo trip, या फिर girls trip होता है कि every college after when it's the ending of the college, every girls group wants to go on a girls trip, and it happens that most of us, the parents won't allow, and in that group I was the one whose parents didn't allow to go for the trip, because although we had planned everything, my friends convinced them, I tried to convince them, but they didn't allow, and I understand their concern about that, and in that process only I discovered WanderingJane, and I met you. Virtually, we had a lot of discussion around other things also, and then I came to know okay, you are doing this, and then I thought yes, this is a very good platform where, but this was something I used to think ऐसा कुछ platform होता who can give conviction to my parents that yes, I will be safe, I can travel with friends or something. So that's an amazing platform that I got to know. And going about a little ahead, how did you plan all of these things? Because I think that in the how I would love to know how was your initial days in starting WanderingJane, when everything was everything you and your partner have to do. You didn't had any team, you didn't had any customers also, you didn't had any local experts also. So how did you plan and maybe got your first customer out there? So what was the journey?
Yeah. Great question. And, I'll also say a little bit about what we were just talking about your father, right? And we've seen the market, when we were experimenting, and we kind of started, doing the research while both of us were still in our full-time jobs. And, on weekends, that is what we would spend our time in. And, when we were doing the research, we figured that, you're right. When somebody has conviction and when you have data, you have a better conversation about why you want to go and do this, right? The moment we had 4 reviews on our website, the conversation started getting better with the customers. Parents today, and of course the market has changed dramatically. In 2016-17, if you said solo trip, there would be a very big question mark. The things are so different now, and solo trip has become a reality. There are parents, in fact, just this morning, we have got calls from 2 fathers who want to book, a trip for their daughters. One, because, she's going overseas in the spring and she has a little break. So she wants to go and explore India. Another one for his wife and his daughter. So these are the kind of realities that we are living in now. When we started, if I was to put some terms into where we started and where we are now, I think at some point we were in a business of awareness, of, creating awareness and kind of convincing people that this can be done and trust us. We have a process in place. We have people in place. We have a model in place. We have some kind of a layer of safety and, accountability in place, and trust us. And now it's very transactional. Now we're getting calls saying, I want to go. What all do you have? Now we're really selling products. That time we were just selling solo travel as a concept. So that has been the massive change. The first ever customer, very interestingly, and it could have been misleading, let me also say that, was a very quick transaction, saw our page on Instagram with all of 100 followers at max or 200 followers, liked us, said, I want to book this trip. We had only one trip. We were only doing Kerala in multiple ways. We were doing surfing, yoga, a fitness retreat, a cultural retreat, and everything in Kerala. Because I lived there and I traveled extensively there, and and I kind of found all these contacts and put them up together and stitched them up together, and we thought, let's just try this. The first ever person WhatsApped us, said, send your payment details, and paid. Okay, that is how we got our first customer. But like I said, it was very misleading. It is not like all other sales were so seamless and cool. But we had to create awareness. So, then we started working towards awareness. Then we realized that people don't understand this. So we need more proof. We need more reviews. We need real, people to be talking about this, to be doing this. We need to kind of do a little bit more on, creating that brand and building that layer of trust and, that customer brand relationship. And that subsequently, worked and scaled in the right direction.
Right. I love that journey of like getting that first customer. And although I understand that after that first customer, every other customer was like you have to put efforts to get that customer, build that trust over time, and then complete that trip. And I think your work doesn't even end when the customer books the call. Your work starts from there, and you have to plan the entire journey for maybe the trip or the solo person that is going on. You have to keep in mind of from starting to the ending, how the things would work, if any problem is there, if any things goes wrong, so how to cope up with that. So any such experience you have with us that you want to share, that all the things won't be right at the same time. So how do you deal with wrongs things in the...
So, what we started doing, and I think thankfully, a couple of years of industry background really helped, because we started to create process right from day one. We started to document what are the kind of problems that will happen, and I think that's both of us were in a mid to senior level kind of leadership roles, and that was a part of our system. Like, we were not really executing things We started doing that again from scratch here. But, we were like talking about processes, about documentation, about making things better and stuff like that. Otherwise also in our lives, right? So I think that is what we started doing. And at every stage, we started to figure out what will go wrong. So I think initially, things really haven't really gone wrong. But yeah, like initially we would get calls of, ladies wanting us to speak to their parents, saying, why don't you convince them, and that was like, no, we won't do that. We can give you data. You ask whatever you want. You want to know if your parents are concerned about safety, we can tell you what we are doing. You can take it or understand it or not understand and do that later. We were never pushy. We were never trying to convince and oversell anything. We were just giving information, as to what we are doing from our side. And we are very empathetic about what their process is going to be, right? Did we lose a couple of customers because we did not speak to their parents and because one of us did not pick up the phone and convince them? Yes, but I think in the long run we built that narrative and we built that empowerment in women that you are supposed to do that, not us, right? We are just giving you that information, and that information also included reviews. Then I think during the trip, you're right, our work starts when someone books, during the trip, even after the trip, because what stays along in this business is the loyalty that people have with you, or the kind of trust that they put in you, that this place better. And that's what we're trying to say, that our local experts know better, not even us. And we just have that handpicked local experts. So, initially, I think we were a little prepared, if I can say so. All our, the first 50 to 100 local experts that we onboarded were all personal contacts. None of them were random people or people's contact also. They were really first-hand contacts that Akshat and I had met, traveled, sat with them, surfed with them, or trekked with them. So, I think that really helped. In terms of, things haven't really gone wrong. But yeah, we've had, I think, initially there was a case where a woman really wanted to go on a solo trip. Went and nearly had a panic attack there, saying, oh my God, this is something that I don't know why I did this, I wasn't sure. And not because anything was going wrong. Everything was fine from a company perspective and what we were giving her. But I think she was just suddenly very uncomfortable, to be by herself. So, but we had a solution in mind, and this is something that we had thought of initially, and we were able to fix it quickly. So we do have this, like, if you feel lonely, we have a local expert 24/7 available, right? So there is someone there. So it's not like we have booked somewhere and you are on your own. So the local expert reached in half an hour, calmed her down, took her for a coffee, everything was fine. So it's such like things, helped us understand more and more about people. And, and like I said, we were, I think, a little bit prepared. There were times, there have been, I think, 1 or 2 times when someone has fallen ill in the middle of the trip, in the middle of nowhere. But like I said, our local experts are totally equipped. They are prepared. They will even get a doctor in the wilderness on the bike in the middle of the night if they have to, and they have done things like that. So, things like these kind of make us very confident about what we are building, and we can build this to scale. We've been in a very, very niche market right now, and we are looking at scaling, and we are looking at building, this in a big way, and somewhere we have some kind of total quality management happening in our processes, and I would say it's all about the right local expert. All our science is behind identifying the right local expert for that place.
Right. Right. You actually said it very well, because when you actually handpick those experts, these, like, I think those are the experts who you rely on, and obviously the customers relies on you. They trust you, and you have to actually hand over to them, explain to them, and coordinate with them. So that has to be very trustworthy. And obviously, if you have personal contacts, that becomes even more easier to coordinate with them. Now, well said. So I would love to know if you are still going with, like, if you're just 2 in the team, or you have scaled up 2 more members in the team and then you're coordinating with them.
Oh, yeah. We have like 5 members in the team now, apart from the 2 of us. So still very nimble, about 7 people, still under 10, not a very big team. We're a very, very lean team. But like I said, we are building to scale. We are a bootstrap company as of now. So we are looking at raising. We are looking at building a team, building more efforts in marketing. We haven't spent money, active money in marketing. I've been a marketer and I'm not a big fan of saying we don't spend money. Anything that you do, even if you're making a creative, if there's an intern doing it, the salaries go, that's money. So let me not give you a wrong impression. But what I mean is we've not spent money on ads. We've not spent money on acquisitions. We've not spent active money on acquiring customers. So all our growth, whether Facebook or Instagram or any coverage that we have got, has been all organic, and people have searched, they have found us good, and they have covered us. Be it even Business World, we won an award on Friday. At an event by the Business World, and be it anybody, right? Like anyone who has kind of recognized us in the last so many years, it's all been organic, but we do want to spend money there. We also want to build some products in technology. So we are looking at raising this year. So you will see more and more people getting at it. I think we were 2 people since 2000. We had 2 of us and 2 other people until 2020. We added 1 more member in 2020. We went through the pandemic, kept the team intact, which is a good story, which I will tell you about. And we've hired 2-3 more people now. So we are a team of 7 now.
Right. So with this experience, I would love to know that how you got those team members initially. Were they your personal contacts again, or you found them online? I'll tell you why I'm asking this question, because from a perspective of a viewer, whenever they go for a company, they generally look for a brand name or good package or something, especially in the initial days. So I would love to know that why people join startups, and so startup like you, which has a close team and working on a niche market. So what drives them to join the market, and how you go them, how you get them on board?
So they are not personal contacts. We reached out via social, via LinkedIn, via couple of people who we know in the startup ecosystem, and we did send out JDs and they referred, and some of them have been through that. I have been interacting with a couple of campuses. I'm a very big fan of very young folks, and I think the whole dynamic between Akshat and I, and Akshat, like I said, so I have about 15 years of experience now. Akshat has about 20, so we are in that age group, and we are clearly not Gen Z or millennials, but I think people think differently and very, very confident, and I'm very I love enjoying working with young people. So we kept hiring a lot of interns. I have been interacting with a lot of campuses in a capacity of visiting faculty or going for guest lectures and things like that. And I think that gave me some connects, and a couple of people have come in from there. We also gave live projects. So while these are our active folks, but over a period of time, initially we only started giving out live projects. So I think the first ever intern of sorts we hired was in 2017. And then we hired another one, and then we gave live projects, and then we gave internships, and we've always been working, in that way. So none of them are personal contacts. I don't know, I don't know the answer. I mean, maybe you should ask them, but I think my assumption is, it is the idea and it is the value system that brings people together when you're hiring, right? And I would say that for myself, because Akshat and I have also been consulting, and if I have to take a consulting assignment, I think at the core, the value system has to match, So I'm guessing they believe in what we are building. We've had, I would say, apart from one male intern or an employee, everybody else, that we have are women, and I think they connect with the idea. So when you have the connect with the idea and you believe in it, I guess that should be the reason. But this is my calculated guess. Even I haven't asked this question to them.
Right. I think you said it very well, because when they actually relate to the core value, they tend to be a part of team and learn more about obviously the skills, and obviously the overall idea of how are you building, what are you up to, what are your future plans, and how this would scale up. So one last question I would like to ask you, Garima, that when you started WanderingJane, you were already doing a full-time job. So ever did you thought that I would leave the job and then start something of my own, or you always wanted ki I'll just side hustle and then keep my job intact and go like work on weekends, off hours and everything? So how was your mindset at that point?
It's such an interesting question, and I meet so many people in these startup meets who have such a romantic story about how they started and when they were 5 and 3 and they always wanted to do something of their own, or I want to be my own boss. None of the above. I love weekends. I'm a person who loves to indulge in, and I know you are an advocate of personal branding, and I'm a person who indulges so much on working on myself, right from fitness to picking up hobbies, and be it painting, be it music, be it golf, be it running. I'm always at it, and I think that drives me as a person. That drives me to do well. That drives me to be taking better decisions at work, and that is my sanity. I work hard the 5-6 days of the week, and my Sunday has to be so if this morning, if I was to tell you my routine, I went out for a 10-kilometer run, then I went for my aerial yoga class, and I have my ukulele class at 6 p.m. So this is how I spend my Sunday. Okay, I really indulge. In between, I have squeezed something that I do with my dog. So anyway, so coming back to what you're saying. So I loved it so much that there was no thought of a side hustle. Let me just say that. I was very, very happy, very comfortable. I loved what I did. I think we just saw a genuine need gap. We just saw, and it was just one conversation leading to the other saying, let's try it. I also want to say, when you're, was it a tough decision? Yes, initially. But I was also confident that, nahi chalega, so someone will give me a job back. I'm good enough, I know. And I think that confidence played out, and that helped. And it's been 5 years since we started WanderingJane. Did that thought occur ki chhodna chahiye tha, nahi chhodna chahiye tha? Not so much until the pandemic, in all honesty, right? And when the pandemic hit, we were 2.5 years into the business, and we were doing well, and we were poised to raise. We were, getting recognized in every forum. I think 1 week before the pandemic, I had flown to Bombay to just pick an award and come back. So we were really in a different trajectory. And then monies were out of question for a startup in travel. It was out of question. So, then perhaps, trying to think, what am I doing, happened. So very quickly, we started to do virtual tourism. So we started to, take all our experiences. So you could do a mixology class. You could learn how to make cocktails from Scotland. You could take a live class learning flamenco dance from our Spain artist in who would stream live from Spain on a Zoom class. We were doing live yoga from Rishikesh, sound healing from Thailand, vision boarding. Come what may, you could see a live feed to animals in a national park. You could visit the tea gardens. These were all paid experiences, by the way, because we still had to give salaries to 3 people that we had hired by then, right? 1 intern and 2 full-time. So this is, so because in that 1 week of that doubt and that frustration, we came up with this solution. And I think that's the true spirit of entrepreneurship, right? That resilience that you show, and that solution mindset ki, my things are stopped, 2 years tak kuch nahi hoga, kuch scale nahi hoga, but what can I do, right? And I think that led to this. And then we were so busy in that. And then the pandemic was a breeze, and we loved it. And it gave Akshat and I a lot of time to think, to step back, to pivot, to see what more can we do with this as a business, as a product. So and I don't know why people say 9 to 5 and all. When you're an entrepreneur, Sunday, Monday, jab bhi mein, jitne baje bhi jo aayega, you have to kind of deal with it. But I love my routine, and I love my weekends. It's only after I've started up, I'm so tied up on the weekends. But if you give it to me, I will spend 2 days just working on myself.
Right. I love that concept, Garima. I love that because, I think shifting that mindset from matlab, growth mindset is what actually drives anything.
Yeah.
Be it a job, be it a startup, be it something of your own, be it content, anything. I think matlab, the switching of your mind drives everything. That how fast you switch to things and then keep scaling up that. So I love that fact. And with this, thanks a lot, Garima. It was an amazing experience knowing you more, knowing more about WanderingJane. And personally, I am very thankful to you that you came up here. And I was like skeptical if you would even accept that invite, but thankfully you did that. And I got that story. So thanks a lot. Thank you, Garima.
Thank you so much, Harshita. Like I said, I'm very fond of young people and young people doing really cool stuff as yourself, and you're a very big advocate for personal branding and trying to do better, and it's amazing who you are as yourself, right? And you started doing this when you were studying engineering and kind of thinking in another dimension. Fantastic. I must congratulate you as well, and thank you. It's been an honor to be speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Garima. Thanks a lot. And with this, thanks a lot everyone for seeing this. We will be back with another episode very soon. Stay tuned and bye, Garima.
And do subscribe.